Hi guys, welcome back to Chess Matthew. So on this video, we'll tackle about the capture the defender. So there are three advantages of capturing the defender. First is that you can gain a free piece, and the second, you can create a target for another tactics, and the last is you can shift the tension via the capture of the defender. So here on this position, we shall see that the f7 was actually attacked by the queen and rook. Although we have still equal defender against it, but our c5 bishop was actually under attack by the pawn, but it has an indirect attack against the white king on the g1. So the pawn was actually defended thrice, but it was actually attacked by the queen and our bishop. But we have an attack on the e5 bishop of white, and it has only two defender because the pawn d4 was actually been pinned by the bishop on c5. So now we can formulate an attack by the idea of capturing the defender. So here we can attack the bishop because the only defender here is the queen. So after the capture, we can recapture with queen takes queen, because after rook takes queen, we can now grab the pawn because it has no defender at all. So after a capture, we can fork now the queen and rook on this position. So another for example of capturing the defender, for example on this position, after the black moves his king, but we shall see this position now that there is a tension between the queens of the both parties. So we shall see this position now that the black queen was defended by the knight on the e8. And again, the pawn on d6 has two defender, which is actually the queen and the knight. So if we grab the queen after the recapture, then we again create a target for another tactics, and that is the fork. And after that, we can gain a free piece on this position via the capturing of the defender. So another for example on this position, after the knight moves, then the black opens up the c file in which it has an early tension with the rooks. But we shall see in this position now that although there is no threat to our king, but there is a pretty obvious tension between the rooks. So by now it is our move. So the only defender to the rook of black is the queen. So if we attack the queen, and if the queen moves, for example, queen to a8, then the rook will be undefended. And again, we have open lines against the bishop h5. For example, after we play the knight to e5, then there is again a double attack to the bishop on h5 and the queen on d7. So by the idea of capturing the defender, we can shift now the tension, because on this position, the black here puts some tension to our position against the c file, but it is our move. So if we play knight to e5, for example, on this position, and tries to chase away the queen, which is the only defender to the rook, but again, it opens up a line against the bishop on h5, so it has a double purpose after knight to e5 on this position. Although as expected, he will play bishop takes to e2 and with a threat to capture our queen, but after we capture his queen, then the rook on c7 has no longer defense, although he can equalize with the bishop takes to queen. But after rook takes to 7, we have now a huge material advantage on the board. So with this idea, by tracking the defender of the piece before we go for a capture, it seems like on this position that the knight has a defender on e3, and it is the bishop. So if we capture the defender, then our rook on f1 can grab now the knight on f4 freely. Although we have a nice tactics, which is the fork after knight takes to f7, but again, there is a defender to the f7, which is the rook on f8, in which we have no piece that can actually attack now the rook on f8. So we will go for the first idea, which is trying to grab the knight on f4 freely. So after we play knight to f5 some point, the bishop will be moved, and if we move to d2, then we have a rook. So again, after knight to f5, then after we grab that defender, we can freely capture now the knight on f4. For example, after knight takes and rook takes, and after we grab his knight on f4, then we emerge a huge material advantage on the board with an extra bishop on c2. So here on this position, we shall see on this position now that there is no threat against our king, and we have no real threat against the white king because the knight was actually defended twice with his king and rook, and we have only two attackers against it. So with equal amount of attackers and defender, then whoever attacks will at some point lose the exchanges. So we shall see that the real tension is not against the white king, but the focal point of the battle was on the rook on e3, because the rook was actually attacked by our queen, and the only defender is his queen on d2. So for example, if we tries to chase away the queen to d2, then we can win his rook on e3. So to maintain the defense of the queen to his rook on e3, so the queen should stay with the squares of d2, c1, and e3, so that he can maintain a defense on his rook against from the attack of the queen on f4. So by now, we mark the target, and it was the e3. So in the next move, we should create another tactics that actually will focus against the a3. And at some point in this position, we can grab the knight to b3, because the b3 is the defender of c4. So if the b3 will be taken away, then the c4 has no defense at all. And by that matter, after we grab that b3, we can create another tactics, which is the fork after knight to c4. So after knight takes to b3 and knight takes to b3, we shall see now that the c4 has no defense. So after we grab that, then we create another tactics, and it is now the fork, and we can win the rook later on. So finally, with the capture of the defender, we can turn the tables, in which later on we can make it favors for us. For example, this position, we have an attack on the bishop on c1, and the defender of the c1 is the rook on f1. And again, we have an attack on the b2 pawn, but the defender of the b2 was the c1. So if we remove the bishop on c1, then the b2 has no longer defense. And then we can grab the b2 and give a check. And for example, after we takes that bishop, and after rook takes, there is queen takes to b2 that actually attacks the king and rook. And after he defend it with queen to f2, but again, we can grab his rook on c1 and emerging with an extra piece on the board with knight on h7. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to subscribe.